yet another live podcast episode. What's going on? We are live over here on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. We slaying it today, hitting our goals. Absolutely. Our clients win. Casey is absolutely crushing it inside of our program. Just a couple weeks in, we're doing the fucking thing. I love it. I'm proud of you. Let's get into this episode. I'm going to be diving deep into my story because I think a lot of times I come on here and I deliver value, but sometimes you're probably wondering the ins and outs of where I came from and why I do this. So without further ado, let's get right into today's episode in 3, 2, and 1. What is going on, mother truckers? Welcome back to another episode of the Shift Your Mind, Change Your Life podcast. This is your favorite online trainer, Coach Sal. Let's get it. In today's episode, I'm telling you guys a little bit about my story, who I am, where I'm from, why I do this, how I got into this shit, because I think it's important to talk about. I think a lot of times, like I was saying before I hit this recording, I come on here with the intent to deliver value, nutrition, fitness, mindset, all the things that are important to succeed in your fitness journey and in your life. And, I always talk about my experience and the things that I've learned, but sometimes I neglect my story. And I want you guys to understand that our stories are our superpower. And I think a lot of times we're reluctant to accept that or embrace that. So that's what we're talking about here today. So the title is How I Went from Athlete to Bodybuilder, CEO, Fitness Coach, and a little bit about my story. So let's rewind. Now, I am 26 years old recording this, and it's crazy to me that I'm saying that. But I grew up in New York, specifically Long Island, for those who are familiar with the area. I graduated high school in 2014 from West Islip, which is a small little town in Suffolk County. I was really blessed to have an amazing upbringing with 2 beautiful parents and 2 younger brothers and a sister as well. Now, I grew up playing football and baseball. I was always on the field, whether that be a baseball diamond or a football field, like pretty much my whole life from when I can remember. So I think the earliest days I could recall back to was like when I was like maybe 6, 7. I don't know. Can you guys reference anything earlier from that age? Probably not. Now, I'm sharing this because I really want you guys to download the lessons that I've learned throughout pretty much my entire life, which is why I'm going back to where I started. And I'll get to some lessons here as we get deeper into the episode. But that's for me as far as I can remember. And, I really did. Growing up, I thought that I was going to be like a professional baseball player. Like that's really what I wanted to do my whole life. And every single fall, winter, summer, I was always doing something related to sports. It's all I knew. It's all I fucking knew. Every fall would be a new football season. Then in the winter, we would train for baseball for then the spring and summer. And it would just be on rinse and repeat every single fucking year up until I graduated college in 2019. And then when I graduated, I literally felt so lost and stuck because I think I made the post about that this morning. And I was talking about like how if you're an athlete, you could resonate with this. If not, like still, we have things that we tie our identities to. And then once we lose that, we have to go through this like transformation completely on every single aspect of our lives. And like for me personally, that was really difficult. So when I think back to that time, in 2019, when I finished up school, it was really challenging. I finished up and I was struggling to get a job. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't in a classroom. I wasn't on a field. And I was like, okay, well, I gotta like be in the corporate world now and get a job and, pay tax and all this, bills and this and that. And it's overwhelming. And I'm sharing that because throughout that time of constantly being frustrated with myself and where I was, I really just surrendered to the process. And I said, you know what, I'm going to take this time to like really figure myself out. Now, this is the short version. I could spend all day unpacking a lot of, my experiences and things that I've gone through. And maybe these are episodes for another day, but the purpose of this episode is to break down how I went from like athlete to coach to bodybuilder and like how and why I did that. And that's what we're talking about, because who you are in one chapter of your life does not define you forever. And that's why I'm sharing this experience, because for a lot of times throughout my earlier years, I tied my identity and my worth to my athletic career. right? I think it's easy. Let me know if you guys could resonate with that at all. Like we grow up and we think we're supposed to be this certain type of person. Okay, well, I want to be a nurse, a doctor, a dentist, I want to be a basketball player, football, whatever. And then it doesn't work out. And then we're left with the question of, well, now what? Well, what do I do with myself? Like, this is really challenging and difficult. I don't have the answers. What am I supposed to do? And that's sometimes where I see people fall into waves of depression, anxiety, loneliness, and then using substances like drugs and alcohol or relationships to like cope with that. And I'll be 100% honest, like I was doing that for quite some time, which is another reason why I feel like it's important to share this stuff. If you guys could resonate with any of the things that I'm saying, just let me know and drop some fire in the comments, or better yet, share your experience, because I know that these things are difficult to talk about, but it's also like where the work lies. And I want to record that. See, Jenny's been there 100%. It's challenging, but hold on, I'm going to hit this. That's really what I'm trying to get across with this episode is like doing the work. If you're on the live, I'm like putting this into quotations. Like doing the work is something that you could go your entire life without actually doing. Now, what I mean by that, for me, when I was graduating college, I was really disappointed with myself and where I was in my life. Like I was flat broke. I was overweight. I was in a toxic relationship. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And it could be like really daunting. Like Jenny put in the comments, I went through a deep depression. I've been there myself. And like now, fast forward 4 years later, I feel like I'm living my absolute truth. I'm in my dream state of Florida. I have a beautiful apartment, a great partner next to me. I've built a successful business. I have an amazing clientele and a team of employees that are happy to work for me, that love their jobs. And I'm working with some of the, I should say some of the best coaches and mentors in the space in all aspects, with my fitness coach, with my business coach, my mindset coach, like all of these people who I've invested into are some of the best in the space, which helps me continuously move forward. Now, that's another episode for another day, but I want to stay focused on what I'm hammering home with my story. And this is like foundationally one of the biggest things that we focus on inside of our program. And if you're a client of mine, this is like really understanding what you want and digging into that. Now, it could be something that is really simple. And I think a lot of times we overcomplicate the process. Now, overcomplicating the process usually stems from overthinking and a lack of clarity on what you truly want. And simple fix, just sit down and ask yourself, like, what do I want? Now, I've made this reference before on this podcast, like maybe your goal right now is just to lose 20 pounds. Well, then unpack that a little bit. Why do you want to lose those 20 pounds? Well, maybe I want to feel a little bit more respected at my job. Unpack that again. Where is that coming from? Do you see where I'm going with this? Because surface level, we're here, and I'm pointing to the top for those who are on the audio only replay. And then like, if we could just dig a little bit deeper, we find what the root cause is. And if we could find that root cause and dig into the why of what we want, then reverse engineering it becomes pretty easy. Maybe you're frustrated with me saying that it's easy, but like there's a few lessons that I wanted to teach on that. I think number one is learning to say no. I'll say that again. Learning to say no is a fucking superpower that helped me go from like having no money, anxious, overweight, depressed to like being really happy, being fulfilled and living out my purpose and like pursuing bodybuilding and coaching as like a passionate career. Like it is something that is really fucking powerful, because a lot of times I think we have people, friends, family members that like call us for certain things, and we're at their beck and call to say yes. Yes, I could help you do this, this, and that. And then we're never really taking the time to find out who we are or what we want. And that's a problem, because if you're not okay with yourself and you're not happy, then you're going to continuously project that out into the world, and you will just get more and more and more of that, right? And what's crazy is another thing that I learned in my mindset retreat when I went to Utah a few weeks ago is we have all the answers inside of us. It's just about digging into that. So going back to how I went from an athlete to CEO and bodybuilder is really taking time, number one, to be alone, two, learning to say no, and three, digging into what I really want for myself, right? I would venture to say that you guys are listening to this episode for a reason, right? And there's certain things in your life that you really want to do, but maybe you're reluctant to go after that for some reason, whatever that looks like, right? Maybe it's the fear of other people judging you. Maybe it's you don't know where to start, you don't know what to do. But simply put, if you guys take nothing else from this episode, just understand that every so-called problem that you have in your life, there is a solution to that. You may not see it right now, but the answers are there. They're probably within you. Or better yet, you don't know what you don't know. And I've done a full episode on that as well. Right? Like we can't even understand the things we don't know because we're not even aware of them. There are so many fucking things to life. I would be a fool to be up here on this microphone and tell you guys that I have all the answers because I don't. But there's also a lot of freedom in that. You know, like I feel like I'm at peace and I'm liberated in the sense because I don't know it all, you know, and I would never act that I do. A lot of times when I have clients who ask me certain things and I don't have the answers, I will point them in another direction. And I'm totally okay with that because I know who I am and what I'm in alignment with. Now, maybe that's a little bit of a tangent and that's something that we could cover on a separate day. But simply put, I'm just so focused on executing every single day. And that's why I've been able to see a lot of traction over the last few years. I'm going to read this comment really quick from Jenny. When I learned to say no, it changed my life, but upset a lot of people. So let's unpack that really quick, Jenny, because I think that's a super, super important thing here. So I'm going to hit this recording again, and I'll read that over. So a comment came in as I was breaking this down from Jenny Kings 2887. Jenny, I appreciate you sharing that. When I learned to say no, it changed my life, but it upset a lot of people. And here's the sad reality of the situation is a lot of times when you do the things that you really want for yourself and you learn to say no, naturally you will lose some people through that process and they may not align with that, but that's okay. I'll say that one more time, but that's okay. Because if they're truthfully people that want to be in your life, then they should want to see you win regardless of what that is. And they should support that. And then if they don't and they show their true colors, well, then maybe we should rethink the relationship and the circle. And again, I am not a relationship expert. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm just a trainer speaking from my experience. So take it for what it is. Okay. This is just what I've seen in my personal opinion. Okay. Because there's been a lot of people who maybe don't agree with the things that I do, or maybe have their own perception of what it is and their own opinions on it. And that's totally okay. You know, you're entitled to your feelings and your opinions. That's fine. And it doesn't faze me because I know who I am and what my intentions are. And I've gotten to this place by doing the work, going back to the earlier things that we spoke about in this episode. Right. And like I mentioned, how I found that out on my retreat in Utah, you could go your whole life without doing the work. You know, I was in a room I was one of the, okay, so like really quick, I've done a separate episode on this, but 2 weeks ago, I spent a week in Utah with my mindset coach and his team. And basically they locked us in a room for 3 days to do a full spiritual awakening and heal our inner child and find peace within ourselves. And I did that. And I was one of the youngest people in the room. And I'm sharing that because I saw a lot of people who were older, but never addressed these issues. So I really hope that you're able to absorb some of this information today in this episode, regardless of where you're listening to it right now. If you're in the car, you're walking, cooking, driving, doesn't matter. I really want you to think about the things that I'm saying here, because I know for a fucking fact that it will change your life because it's changed mine, right? Going from being overweight, broke, anxious, depressed, not knowing what I'm doing, right? It's just having faith that you know the type of person that you are and what you're willing to do to get that. So yes, I was really scared and freaked out when I finished college because I didn't know what I wanted to do for myself. But I know that as long as I work as hard as I possibly can, as often as I can, eventually things will pan out. Now that single thing is called faith. Faith, courage, it will carry you. It will carry you in anything. It's not just your fitness journey. It's not just your business. It's also your relationships and the quality of life that you have, right? And understand that that's within you right now. You just have to tap into it. So hearing this, it should bring awareness to that. You could literally just hear this and be like, man, that makes a lot of sense. Then what you can do is approach your day in a different state of mind. And if you do that over and over again, all of a sudden you'll look back in a few weeks, months, maybe years, and be a completely different person. I embarked on this self-improvement journey about 4 years ago. So it's taken me a good amount of time to get here. And that's another thing that we have to understand is like complete transformation, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, like it does not happen overnight. And I speak to a lot of people who want things like this. We want it really fast. We're conditioned in today's society with social media, TikTok, Instagram. We get things very fast. We have Uber Eats and all these things, which are amazing, but it also like continues to hold us back in the sense of like, we want things right fucking now. But anything worth having is not going to be easy, and it is going to be difficult, and it is going to take a good amount of time. Now, if you accept that and you stop fighting that and you just let go and surrender to the process, that's where the combination of doing the work and believing in yourself and asking questions and having faith in the process, that's where transformation lies. And yes, it is scary, it is challenging, it is uncomfortable, but that is what it is. If you don't like me saying that, then I'm sorry, but I'm not really sorry at the same time, because that's what it is. Okay. So let's recap this episode really quick. Going from athlete to bodybuilder, this is the how and why. You know, like Corinne said, it trust the process 100%. You know, every single day I've been practicing my morning routine, reading books, podcasts, coaches, mentorship, gym, you know, like just constantly trying to work on myself, you know. And this is something that I really preach to our clients too, is just because you're a certain type of person right now doesn't mean that you're going to be that person forever. You're capable of changing that, but you have to believe that, change the story that's in your mind right now, right? Nothing grows in comfort zones. 100%, Corinne. Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to take a sip and then we're going to wrap up this episode. What else do I need to share here? I just got a couple notes of things I want to talk about, but I want to wrap this up because I like to make these episodes short, sexy, straight to the point. Sometimes I rant. I could talk all day, you know. So if you need some information, I'm your freaking guy. Okay. Let's hit this, and I'm going to finish up this podcast. So, guys, to recap this episode really quick, going from former athlete to bodybuilder, online coach, six-figure entrepreneur, the how and the why, it really just comes down to doing the work. Doing the work, having faith, surrender to the process, letting go. You're not doomed. You're not doomed. Like I'll leave you with you. I'll leave this with you guys here today. I thought for a long time that I was like doomed in the sense of, you know, I didn't think I was capable of turning my life around. I thought like I was going to be out of shape forever. Like, quite honestly, the picture that I posted this morning, I never thought it was possible to look like that. I didn't. And I say that shit all the time, you know, with being on stage this past June and placing top 5 at a huge show. I didn't think that was possible, but I did it. And over again, every single time I put my mind to something, I get it done. With walking on to a Division I baseball team in college, I didn't think that was possible, but I did it fucking anyway. With leaving my corporate job and starting a business from literally fucking scratch and building that to 6 figures, and now having a team and 45 plus clients, you know, and we constantly are growing week over week. I didn't think that was possible either, but there was always this internal desire to get what I fucking want. And you guys are capable of doing the same fucking things, but you don't believe that. And because you don't believe that, you self-sabotage over and over again. See, I'm too busy. I don't have the time. You know, like, this is really difficult. Of course it's fucking difficult. If it wasn't, then everybody would be doing it. Right. So based on the things that we're talking about in this episode, right? If you let go of what you think it's supposed to be like, and you surrender to the process, and you have faith in the type of person that you are and the work that you're willing to do, why can't you get what you want? Why can't you get what you want? And you could take this principle understanding and apply it to everything in your life. And again, that is why I love fitness training and bodybuilding so much. Because again, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you approach and you take this mentality to your nutrition, to your workouts, your sleep, cardio, the way you speak to yourself, how you spend your time, where you put your energy, all of these things matter. There are no accidents. I'll say that one more time. There are no accidents. You are 100% responsible for your own life's experience, meaning that regardless of where you are right now, that's your fault. That's your fault. Because if you're sitting in the backseat and you're playing the victim and you're pointing the finger to other people, places, and things why you don't have what you want, you'll never fucking get there, because you have to take ownership of that. Now, I'm speaking from experience, because for majority of my life, I played the fucking victim. See, they got the award and I didn't. See, I told you so. I couldn't do that. And again, going back to that earlier point, we self-sabotage. because we don't believe in ourselves. Why don't we believe in ourselves? Maybe we lack clarity. Maybe we don't know the answers. Ask questions, seek guidance. I truthfully believe, I'll leave you guys with this because I'm ranting. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just go. Okay. I truthfully believe that if you're willing to do whatever it takes over and over again, eventually you will get what you want. There are no accidents. Notice how I'm saying these things over and over again because I want it to be ingrained into your fucking mind. It's taken me years to understand this. And there's still a lot of work that I have to do. The work is never done. And that can fucking scare you, or that could also liberate you in the sense that if you approach every single day with the mindset of, hey, how could I get better today? That's simply put, like that's what I do. Literally. Each day, I'm just like, how could I get a little bit better today? So I take that fucking mindset and I take that to my workouts. Maybe a couple extra reps, maybe a little bit more weight, maybe some more steps. Maybe I'll do a little bit better with my food and my sleep. Take that mentality. Like that's the whole Kobe Bryant fucking Mamba mentality shit, right? We get up early, we do the work, we don't make excuses, we take true ownership and accountability for our actions, right? And we are constantly looking to improve every single day, getting up early, reading books, listening to podcasts. There's information out there that you have access to, but you have to do it. Nobody can do it for you. Nobody is going to come on your door and knock and say, hey, it's time to make a change. You got to do this, right? And it honestly frustrates me because I see a lot of people who are so quick to give up on themselves and write themselves off and say, you know what? I got my sister's, brother's, father's, cousin's, uncle's wedding this week. I can't really make it to the gym. The only person that you're hurting from doing that is yourself. Let that sink in for a second. The only person that you're hurting by doing that is yourself. It's not anybody else's fault. There are no accidents. We need to take responsibility for that. Right? Does that make sense, Coach Imbriani? Jenny, yes, I take responsibility for it now. And here's what's liberating is that you could literally just make the decision right now to change that. Nobody is stopping you. And I'm going to say that again on the recording because I hate Anchor. I need to switch platforms here. Let's see. Carrie, I appreciate the emoji. Thank you for tuning in. Corinne, 1% better every day makes a huge difference. One thing I always remind myself, discipline over motivation. Nobody stays motivated all the time, but we can be disciplined if we allow ourselves to be 100%. Actually, I'm going to read that on the recording as well. So I'm in a flow right now, and I really want to hammer this home to you guys. Now, Corinne dropped an amazing comment on the live stream. I'm going to read that again. 1% better every day makes a huge difference. One thing I always remind myself of, discipline over motivation. Nobody stays motivated all the time, but we can be disciplined if we allow ourselves to be. And you know what? That's something that I get asked all the time. Well, Sal, how do you stay motivated? And the answer, going off Corinne's point, is that you fucking don't. Motivation is an emotion. It is fleeting. It comes and goes. It's not something that you can rely upon. So what can you rely upon is discipline. And I would venture to say that if you're on this live stream and you're listening to this episode, that you are a disciplined person. But sometimes it's very easy to allow the external factors to get in the way. Right? Like I made the joke, like my brother, sister's, father's, cousin's, uncle's wedding, because you'd be amazed how there's so many people that make so many excuses as to why they can't show up for themselves. But that exact constant frame of mind is exactly why you don't have what you fucking want. There are no accidents. There are no accidents. If you're constantly playing the victim, if you're constantly saying things like, I don't have the time, I'm too busy, you don't understand, you will always get what you have always gotten. And I say this so frequently to my clients who are here with me right now, Sophia and Bear. You guys know this all the fucking time, right? It's understanding that and taking responsibility for your fucking actions. You make the time, you figure it out. Because if you're in that mindset all the time and you're taking that with you, you will always get what you have always fucking gotten. In order to get something you have never done, right, you have to be willing to do things you've never done. Does that make sense? I probably could say that a little bit better. Simply put, you can't get different results doing the same fucking shit. If you've been the same person for months and years, chances are you got to change some fucking things and ditch your ego and surrender to the process. That's what it is. Throughout the last 4 years of my life, that has been one of the biggest driving factors, right? So we spoke about a lot of things in this episode. Hope you guys got value from this. Okay. So I'm going to recap one more time, and I'm ranting because this could transform your fucking life. You learn to say no, number one. Okay. 2, you draw fucking boundaries. If you learn to say no, you draw boundaries and you surrender to the process and you have faith that you're willing to do the work no matter what, why can't you get the results that you want? I'll share a quick story with you guys. Okay. I'm on a fucking tangent. That's why I'm going a little past the time limit right now. There was plenty of days, and I said this this morning. So I actually had one of my old clients reach back out to me, and I'm not going to name names just out of what was the word I was going to say? I was going to say curiosity, but that's not it. Just respect. I'll just use respect. Okay. One of my old clients reached out to me and he was like, yo, I just really want to say like how proud of you I am and how inspiring it is to see you living out your dream. And here's the thing. It literally made my fucking day to see that message because the lifestyle that I live is pretty fucking lonely. And I don't say it for sympathy, but I say it could have been so easy for me so many times to quit and give up. There's plenty of days I don't feel like doing the shit that I have to do, but I do it fucking anyway because that's what it takes. Complaining about things and bitching and making excuses and blaming the circumstance is going to get you fucking nowhere in life. It's going to get you nowhere. And yes, I don't have all the answers. I don't have it all figured out, but I've seen a ton of fucking progress in the last 4 years where people ask me like, yo, are you like 35? I'm like, I'm 26, motherfucker. And they're like, well, how the fuck is that possible? Based on everything I just said in this fucking episode. You could literally listen to this episode 4 or 5 times for free and it costs you nothing other than your time. And I'll break this down for you guys. For the last 4 or 5 years, every single time I get in the car, I listen to a fucking podcast. Every single morning, I read 5 to 10 pages. Every single morning, I hit the gym, go for a walk, stretch, unless it's a rest day. Okay. Every single day, I make the conscious decision that I'm going to make an effort with my nutrition because I know it's going to positively impact not only my body, but my mind and my life. And that is a decision that is within my fucking control. Nobody is forcing cheeseburgers down your fucking throat. Nobody is telling you to skip your fucking workouts every single day. Nobody is telling you that you have to call in sick because you just don't feel like working today. That's you. That is you. Do we understand that? Can we agree? If you guys are getting value, there's 9 motherfuckers here on Instagram. There's a few more over here on TikTok. There's a few more on Facebook. If that makes sense and you resonate with that at all, let me know and drop some fire in the comments. And take a sip of coffee. I'm fucking fired up today. Sophia and Bear, what do you guys think? You guys still here? Casey, I got 3 of my clients on here. That's how fucking committed they are. There's enough shit that they have to do in their program, but they still take the time out of their day to come here. Alicia as well. I have 4 of my clients here right now listening to this. And it's not a coincidence that they see progress in their lives because it's that mindset every single day that they approach to the things that they need to be doing. Okay? And on the head, on my lunch. Bear is on his lunch and he's still fucking here learning. Guys, that is what it fucking takes right there. Okay? Jenny wants some good book recommendations. I could do that in just a second. I have a few behind me, but I want to wrap this up, okay? Because how many segments did I do today? Let's see. Wow, this was 5, 10, 15, 20. How many minutes was this podcast so far? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes. This is good. Okay, so I want to tell another story. I'm on a fucking roll today. Excuse me. And I appreciate you guys spending time with me today, and I hope you're getting value from this. Now, we're approaching the 30-minute mark, and here's the thing, guys. One of my biggest I shouldn't even say one of, my biggest fear growing up was public speaking. Public fucking speaking. And here I am recording this live stream, doing this podcast, serving my team, doing all these coaching calls because I just fucking decided to. And it's been, a process over the last few years. I'm not saying that you're just going to wake up one day and absolutely transform every aspect of your life. Like logically, you probably understand that that's not how it fucking works. But procrastination is the enemy of execution. So what I mean by that is if you're always reluctant to find the courage and take that step, and again, you will always get what you have always fucking gotten. And you will stay stuck in the same fucking place. Guys, it could have been very easy for me to stay at my construction job for the next 10, 15, 20, 30 years of my life and collected a salary, pension, benefits. And a lot of people do that. And again, to each his own. To each his own. This is not me shitting on anybody and how they live their lives. This is me just speaking from my experience and what I've learned. Okay, because I worked construction for a few years coming out of college. I graduated college in 2019. I spent 2 years working construction in New York City. I hated my fucking life. Every single day I would wake up, the alarm clock would go off, and I would be fucking miserable because I hated my job. And for me, that was a decision that I made because I was not willing to live the rest of my life being a miserable, unhappy person and taking my anger and frustration out on drugs and alcohol and then bringing that into my relationships and my kids. I refused to do that. So although the decision to leave my corporate job and start my own business from fucking scratch and become a trainer, my family fucking thought it was crazy at first. I remember I had a conversation with my uncle and I called him up and I was like, yo, Uncle Al, like I'm going to leave the construction job that you got me and I'm going to start my own business as a trainer. He said, what are you, fucking nuts? Why would you do that? Because I was miserable. I share that because one, public speaking was my biggest fucking fear. And here we are. Two, I could have stayed at my corporate job and been miserable the rest of my life and just settled. But I thought to myself, and I knew deep down that wasn't what I wanted to do. I refused to settle. And I hope this energy like just translates, transmits, whatever the fucking word is, to you guys here today. Because from personal experience, you are capable of doing all the things that you fucking want. I'll say it again. You're capable. You're worthy. It's possible. Stop sabotaging it. Learn to say no. Draw boundaries. Put the fucking work in. Have faith. It takes time. Takes fucking time, but simply put, you never know unless you try. Like think about baseball, right? I told you guys how at the beginning of this episode, I was a baseball player. If you don't swing the bat, you can't get a fucking hit. So if you don't go after the things that you want, you'll never fucking get them. It's a pretty simple framework if we think about it, because quite honestly, there was a lot of times in my life where I'll just give you guys another analogy. I used to go out all the time, right? And a few years ago, I didn't really have a lot of confidence in myself, so I'd kind of like sit in the back of the room, just kind of be a fly on the wall. And, maybe there's that girl in the room that everyone wants to talk to, right? But sometimes I couldn't muster up the courage to do that. And I would have that hesitation, right? And then someone else would do it. And then I'd be like, fuck, man, I really, really wish I did that. And like for me personally, regret is like the worst feeling on earth. I decided to give up on my dream on baseball one time. And then I pursued it again and I was able to make a lot of traction. And then I always thought back, well, fuck, man, like if I would have gave it 100%, it would have been so differently. And it's easy to think of life that way, right? Well, the shoulda, coulda, woulda. I could have did this. I could have did that. Well, all you have is the present moment, right? We can't change the past. You don't know what's coming in the future. All you have is right now. So surrender to that. Because if you're constantly thinking about the past version of yourself and you're always worried about the future, the only thing you're missing out on is the present moment, which is right now, which is all you fucking have. I pause because I want that to sink in for you guys. Hear me out here. I know we're getting deep into this episode. There's got to be something that's landed for you today. There has to be something that you could take away from this episode. And it's funny because a lot of times, like I come on to these episodes and I script a lot of things and I'm like, you know what? I got to be really concise, like value packed, but honestly, I'm just like pulling the curtain today. There's no notes. I'm just speaking my fucking truth, man. Because I really do believe like there is a higher level for all of us. We all have more potential, but so many of us just choose to play small. For what? Why? Why do we settle? It is honestly something that is very interesting to me. Answer that question. I want you guys to ask yourselves that. Why do we settle? Why do we choose to play small? Think about that for a second. What do you guys think? Can we get some comments on that? I'm going to take another sip. Man, we're like 40. All right. This is going to be the last segment, okay? Because I can't make these episodes 40 minutes. Maybe I could. I don't know. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Jax, what's up, King? I saw your text. I'll hit you back after. Yes, Adonis. You know the fucking vibes, baby. What's popping? Ask yourself that fucking question. Okay. We're going to hit the last segment of this. All right. So this is the last segment of this episode. I know we've gone on a complete rant today, but honestly, it feels fucking good. It feels really fucking good to get this information out to you guys. Because like I said earlier, one of my biggest fears is regret. All I want to say at the end of the day, God willingly, I get to 70, 80, 90 years old. I want to be on my deathbed because let's face it, okay? Life is short. We don't know, right? Time is all we have. I could walk out tomorrow and get hit by a fucking bus. And I hate to be that guy and like have that to your attention, but at the same time, that's the reality of the situation. The only thing that's certain in this life, death and taxes. Death and taxes, the only two things that are certain, right? So if we understand that, why are we choosing to play small? Why do we just accept, oh, it is what it is, right? Easier said than done. Hear that shit all the fucking time. What kind of fucking attitude is that? It's easier said than done. It is what it is. I'm just going to sit here for 30, 40 years and collect my salary and pension. Man, I wish I went after my goals. So what? We're just going to surrender and just fucking give up at 23, 24, 25 years old. And this is just going to be my life. And that's just what it is. And I can't do anything about it. What kind of fucking dog shit attitude is that? And here's the thing. I get a lot of backlash. I get a lot of hate. I also get a lot of love. But it could be easy for me to focus on all the negative shit, and like feel sorry for myself, this and that. But again, where would that get me? And this is not talking shit. This is just experience. I could have just been the average person and done whatever I want. And I'm not saying like I'm not saying I'm special or have anything completely figured out because I don't. What I'm saying is we are capable of so much more. You are capable of so much more. There's something right now that you want to do. And I hope that this podcast, this information sparks something in you to take action, because I truthfully wish that I had something like this 5, 6 years ago. I wasn't even aware that any of this shit existed. I used to fucking hate reading. I barely graduated high school. I almost failed out of college. I hated books. If you know what's fucking crazy, if you told me 5, 6, 7 years ago that I would be in this position right now, I would say you're fucking nuts. There's no way that I am a successful 6-figure CEO and I built a business and I read books and I meditate and I do yoga and I'm fucking jacked and I have a beautiful girlfriend and a luxury apartment in Florida. I would say you're fucking nuts. There's no way. But here we fucking are. Here we fucking are. And a lot of people I know don't show love. They show hate because it makes them jealous and insecure that they're not doing the things that they want, because they settled. I'll ask you the question. Do you want to settle? Do you want to look back and wish that you did things differently? Chances are you don't. You don't. So fucking go after it. Right? There's a lot of comments here on Instagram, and I really appreciate you guys showing out today. Jenny says, I love this rant. Most people settle because as a society, we've been conditioned to wait for the right time. Here's the thing, Corinne. There is never the right fucking time. When is going to be the right time? If I waited to start my business, I would have never made any progress. So many fucking people that I talk to, I want to do this. I want to do that. But what are you doing about it? When push comes to shove, when it's time to take action and bet on yourself and get uncomfortable, no one's around. That's on you. Again, no one's going to come knocking on your fucking door. Hey, Corinne, it's time. It's time to start your business now. We'll wait for that Monday. And I love what you said, and I really respect you, and I appreciate you sharing that, because I, for so many fucking years, waited till Monday. Well, you know what? I kind of fell off this week. I was good with my fitness Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, but then Thursday came around. We went out for drinks. I'm a little hungover. I skipped my workout on Friday. I might as well just skip Saturday too. Oh, well, some of my friends are going out. We might as well go out and just sit at the bar and talk about how fucking miserable we are all day, because that's what we're conditioned to do. And that's okay, because that's what everybody else does, right? So I'm just going to fucking do what everybody else does and try to fit in. Where does that get you, Corinne? Waiting till Monday, nothing's going to fucking change. What is going to change from now until Monday? Nothing. So why not do the fucking thing? Chances are it usually stems from fear. We're afraid. We're scared to fail. We're afraid to make mistakes. We're afraid to be ourselves. We're afraid to go after what we truly want because we think that people are going to judge us. Well, here's the fucking thing. They're going to judge you regardless of what you do. No matter what you do, there will always be a conflicting opinion. Chances are there's probably people that tune into this and say, this guy's fucking nuts. Good. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter what they say, because I know who I am. You know who you are, right? There's fucking power in that. Okay, I want to read this one from Carrie as well. I hope I'm saying your names right. I'm working on that. Alicia, I love you. Thank you for tuning in. One of my rockstar clients, absolutely killing it. Okay, so let's record. All right, we're just gonna keep fucking going here. I don't know. I feel good. Why would I call it off right now? Why would I call it off? Fucking 40 minutes. Literally, it's crazy because fuck. It's crazy because someone could click on this live stream, this podcast, listen to this information, and literally change their fucking lives. And that's why I do this shit. Right above me, there's a letter that my clients hand wrote and sent to me on my birthday with how much I've impacted their lives. And I could get really fucking emotional reading that. And I put it on my wall for a reason, because every single day I look at that and that reminds me that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Because at the end of the day, service and helping other people is all we have, right? This world, nothing is promised. All we have is people and relationships and service to others. If you believe that, you will get what you want. I believe that to my soul, in my core, that's what it's about. And it's amazing how the universe gives that back to me because I'm trying to help. Now, here's what's crazy. Going back to the earlier points on this fucking rant about how I shared how I was miserable, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Most of my life, I had no fucking idea what I wanted to do with myself, guys. No idea. But there's always been one constant theme, and that was to help other people. I've said, I want to be a cop. I studied criminal justice in college. Do I do anything with criminal justice? No, I'm a fitness coach. I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and journalism. I wanted to be a sport reporter, right? I wanted to be a cop. I wanted to do all these things. None of it worked out, but coincidentally, as the same post that I made this morning, everything happens for a reason. There are no accidents. I wasn't meant to do that. And here I am now. Now, am I going to be a fitness coach forever? I don't fucking know. But if I'm stressing about where I'm going to be in 5 years, all it does is, again, rob me of the present moment right now. And if I'm not my past and I don't know where my future lies, then all I have is right now. And I can be present on this podcast with you and share this information. So, Carrie, to your point, and again, I apologize if I'm saying your name wrong. I want to run my own small business, but I have no idea it is what I want to do. That's why personally, for me, I'm stuck at my 9-to-5 job. If I knew what I wanted out of life, I would be after it. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to challenge you on that, and I understand where you're coming from because I felt the same way 3-4 years ago. You get off at 5. What do you do from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m.? That's a 4-hour gap. Like, let's just say hypothetically you go to bed at 9 p.m. Let's say you probably stay up even later, 10 p.m. What do you do for those 5 hours? Chances are you could find 1 hour to work on something. Now, here's where it ties into it. Because for me, I used to hate the gym. So it's funny and it's kind of interesting how now I'm a fitness coach. So then going back to your question, Carrie, you don't know what to do. What do you enjoy? What do you like? For me, I like moving my body. I like working on myself. I like improving. And at first, I fucking hated the gym and I wanted nothing to do with it. But eventually, just forcing yourself to do hard things, you learn more about yourself and what you enjoy. Now, Carrie, I could sit up here all day and tell you how to live your life, but I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to try and do is guide you to the solution of what makes you happy. Chances are there's something in your life that you want to do, whether that's like music, art, whatever. Maybe you want to start a little whatever it is. Like if you want to start your small business, just dig into the reason why. Well, why do you want the small business? You just have to keep asking yourself over and over again. Well, maybe I want my time back. Maybe I want more time with my kids. Maybe that's all I want is just more time with my kids. Not sure if you have kids, right? Maybe I just don't want to be chained to a fucking desk. Guys, there is so many opportunities in this world. So Carrie said it, art, cool. Carrie, so when you get off work at 5 p.m., if you took 1 hour every single day to do something with art, right? Maybe you draw some things, you post it online. Maybe people start to like it. You engage with them. Hey, Sarah, thanks for the like, right? Or better yet, like there's so many fucking people. Yo, there are 7 billion people on this earth, okay? Carrie, I would venture to say that there's maybe one person who has a successful art business. And what you could do is network inside of the space, is find a mentor who's already done something like that and pay them to learn how to do it. So for complete transparency, that's what I've done. That's what I have done. I wanted to build my fitness business, okay? I didn't know what to do. I worked construction to make my money and pay my bills. And then the time I wasn't working, I was pursuing my passion of what I wanted to do. And I took the money after I paid my bills and my savings, and instead of spending it on restaurants and beers and clothes and dumbass shit, I invested in a mentor who's already done it, who knows what it takes to learn from them and ask the questions because there's proof in the pudding. Someone's already walked that path. Why make the mistakes on your own? Is that ringing any bells, Carrie? Is that helpful at all? These things are important. Now, I'm just fucking ranting at this point, but you know what? I feel fired up, and I'm sure you guys could feel my energy. Energy is contagious. Vibration is everything. So, Carrie, to finish out that point, if you want to run your own small business, there is never going to be the right time to start it. And you just have to be strategic with how you spend your time. And it could be anything you want in life. Your nutrition, your meal prep, your workout, spending time with your kids, your family, whatever it is. If you just carve out one fucking hour, you would be so surprised at how efficient you could be when your focus is dialed in. When your focus is dialed in. I usually only work about 4 to 6 hours a day. Usually, on average. Why? Because I'm very strategic with how I move. Very strategic. Now, there's been times where I had to grind. There's seasons to life. So again, going back to this point, Carrie, when I was getting started, this is like the breakdown, okay? So I was working my main construction job 5 days a week, 9 p.m. to 5 p.m., just like you. And I would drive in and out of the city of New York. And during those commutes, I would listen to my coach's podcast. So as I'm driving, I'm collapsing time by listening to the podcast. Any free time on my break, trying to learn things. I'm asking questions, okay? Then I would come home from my construction job. Then I would train people in person. And then on the weekends, I was getting my online certification. Now, did I go out from time to time? Yes, I'm a human being. And I'm not going to sit up here and try to tell you that I don't live my life and that I'm perfect, because I'm not. But simply put, we all have the same fucking 24 hours in a day. What are you willing to do with that? Time is money. It's all you have. And how you're spending that is a choice that is in your fucking control. So if you're miserable at your 9 to 5, this is a rant. There's 5 hours that you're not working a day. What do you do with those 5 hours? Maybe you go to the gym for an hour. Maybe you hang out with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, partner, wife, husband, whatever it is, your kids. Say 3 hours. You only need 1 hour. Work on it. Just fucking start. It's going to be messy. For context, when I first started my fitness coaching group, there was periods of times where I just started, and I was making mistakes, but like I always just had the faith that I was going to figure it out. You can't lose if you don't quit. You can't lose if you don't quit. If you're willing to fall on your face and make mistakes and continue to get back up, that is what it is. I've made so many mistakes in my life. And that's the only reason that I continuously move forward, because I'm willing to do that and I'm willing to accept that. There is no way around that. Another saying that I got from my coach in Utah, the only way out is through. Say that one more time. The only way out is through, meaning the only way that you will escape that life is if you fucking go through it. Because if you're constantly avoiding it and you're trying to go around it, you'll never get to where you want to be, or it's going to take you quadruple the amount of time, which is why I said be strategic with the 1 hour that you have after work. Go after it, ask questions, seek a mentor, and do whatever it fucking takes. Maybe you have to sacrifice some things. There was a lot of weekends where I did nothing but lock myself in my room, go on my fucking computer, watch a bunch of videos, digest information, and take messy action and implement on it. That's it. There are no secrets. Everybody you see who is successful started as the ground floor. They started somewhere. I said that in my post again this morning, and I meant it. I have not always been fit. I have not always had a healthy relationship with food and fitness. I used to struggle with a binge eating disorder. I had kidney stones at 17. My friends used to call me Fat Sal growing up. I love my friends to death, and it's funny to think about. It doesn't bother me now, okay? But throughout my earlier years when I was a teenager, that shit did not feel good, being known as Fat Sal. That was not really fun. For those who are new, you probably don't believe me. You could ask anybody I grew up with. They will attest to it. I could call my friends right now, and they joke about it sometimes. So now I'm literally a competitive bodybuilder and a fitness coach. It's fucking wild how that works. And I literally have people who I grew up with who are now being coached by me and love it. Why can't you be successful? Because we self-sabotage, because we tell ourselves we can't do it. And that's why. It's nobody else. It's nobody else. Okay. So that's the rant. I'm going to wrap it up here today. I know that was long. That was a fucking good one. I appreciate you guys pulling up and spending some time with me. That was literally almost a 50-minute rant. So for all you guys who stuck around, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you have the best day of your motherfucking lives. Peace, love, and protein. We'll see you in the next one. Let's fucking get it. Okay, that's it. I gotta call it here, man. It's been like a fucking hour of this. Joey, what's good? Nick, thank you for tuning in. Bear, was it helpful? Casey, thank you. Carrie, what do you think of that? Can we get some feedback on that? Like, is that helpful at all? Sophia, thank you. I appreciate you. Jenny, you loved it. Amazing. Cool. Any other comments over here on TikTok? What about Facebook? Were you guys able to let me know, what was your biggest takeaway? What was one thing that you learned from this episode that you're going to take into your life? Because that's what is really important, honestly. You know, I could sit up here all day and we could talk all we want, but at the end of the day, action is the cure-all. Messy fucking action. Messy action. That's the secret. That is the unlock to getting everything that you fucking want. No, I don't have all the answers, but I've come a long way. And I want to give that to you. Because that makes me feel fucking good. People ask me, why are you a fitness coach? I like helping people. It's hard to listen and write to you at the same time. I 100% agree with you, and I understand that, Carrie, which is why this is a podcast. So you can listen to it again and again and again for free. So shoot me a DM after this, and I'll send it over to you. I'm going to have this episode up by today. I'm just going to send it to my editor, and she's going to post it. And that's all I got. Kyrie, we can continue the conversation. How am I feeling today? Fucking really good. Really good. Because I've learned to love my rest days, whereas I used to feel stressed and anxious if I wasn't in the gym. But now I don't. Oh, that's enough. Maybe we could do that tomorrow. What do you guys think? Do you think we could do that episode tomorrow? What to do on rest days? I'm going to jot it down for tomorrow because I think that's also key. And there's a lot of people who have a misconception with rest days, thinking that we need to be in the gym fucking 7 days a week, or I might as well do nothing, right? So I'm going to break that down. I'm going to jot this down for tomorrow. What to do on rest days. Why is it not capital? I got to piss really bad. What to do on rest days. You don't need to be in the gym 7 days a week. One bad day does not erase your progress. And I'm sure I'm probably talking about that before, but okay, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate you. Hope you have the best fucking day of your entire lives. We'll see you in the next episode. Happy Wednesday, and talk to you soon.